Wait me, don't you?
Tune in to Kons Podcast.
Kons Podcast.
Wait me, don't you?
Hit that like button.
Wait me, don't
Subscribe
you?
and share.
Wait me, don't you? Wait me, don't you? Wait me, don't you? Wait me, don't you?
Kons motherfucking podcast.
Which was the ICE agent, you know what I'm saying, who pretty much bodied the woman out there in Minnesota named Renee Good. He claimed that his phone was damaged and put together a GoFundMe. Human nature. Now, could this all could have been handled a different way? For sure. ICE has already have a bad bite. They wouldn't seen them rip families apart, like I said in the last episode, you know what I mean? So they already have a bad rep. Snoop Dogg, you know what I mean? Snoop Dogg was at the Golden Globe Awards, and they had a podcast award for the first time ever at the Golden Globe Awards. You know what I mean? Snoop Dogg was he was in there burning it down and got loaded before he came on that stage. I thought it was hilarious to see, you know what I mean? Fred Warner, you know what I'm saying? Fred Warner, we potentially can get Fred Warner back if we keep winning, you know what I'm saying? Fred Warner potential return has been, whether it looked like some capoeira he was doing, some Thai boxing he was doing, you know what I'm saying? It's kickboxing, so it was looking good, but the footage of him doing the workouts, doing the crosses and the back and forth and side to side. Yeah, what's going on? What's happening? It's Kons Podcast, episode 350, you know what I mean? Episode 350. Hope everybody doing cool. It's a good Tuesday, January 13th, 4:30 in the afternoon, you know what I'm saying? Hope everybody doing cool on the second day of the week, you know what I mean? Hope everybody had a cool Monday. Yesterday was just one of the days, you know what I'm saying? Real busy, whole bunch of appointments and meetings and a whole bunch of stuff I had to stick to, you know what I mean? So just didn't have no time to record yesterday, you know what I'm saying? But I got a few cool little three topics for you today, you know what I mean? Few little three topics for you today, you know what I'm saying? In case it's your first episode, you wonder what we do here, it's where I let you know what the latest news, headlines, whatever headlines you might have seen that was popular or happening at the time that you might have seen logged on to your computer, whether your homepage was MSNBC, Google News, Yahoo News, Hip Hop DX, whatever the news source is, wherever you get your headlines from, I'm probably touching on one or two of them right here on Kons Podcast, you know what I'm saying? So tell a friend, tell somebody, share it out, you know what I mean, and let me keep you updated on this wicked world, you know what I mean? But yeah, without further ado though, you know what I'm saying, it's a good Tuesday, Titty Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, whatever kind of Tuesday it is that you want to call it, you feel me? It is the Tuesday, second day of the work week, you know what I'm saying? Good 4:30 in the afternoon, you know what I'm saying? Weather is still the same, 50, 60, no more than that, you know what I mean? But yeah, without further ado, without no more chit-chat, banter, let's go ahead and jump right into these topics, you know what I mean? So Jonathan Ross, which was the ICE agent, you know what I'm saying, who pretty much bodied the woman out there in Minnesota named Renee Good. He claimed that his phone was damaged and put together a GoFundMe for his phone, but now the limit kept getting raised once the money started hitting the target that he had. Originally, it was $100K. Some clips, it was $300K. Then it was $500, and then $800. He's now raised, I think, a total of probably $700,000 by this time that you are seeing this, maybe even more. You know what I mean? I see multiple clips of the limit just being raised over and over and over. The clip minutes prior to what was happening, that incident to where they showed Renee blocking the traffic. Everybody's honking their horn. You can see her antagonizing. She honking her horn, dancing to it in front of the drivers, frustrated drivers that's beeping, trying to get her out the way. I have video of all that, everything leading up to that, and also in the next little clips you're going to see also clips of this GoFundMe that he has put together and trying to raise money, apparently for lawyer fees and this and that. I've heard it was for his phone originally, but apparently this is for lawyer fees and everything's of that nature. In these next little clips you're going to see is just clips on that, and also you're going to see the clip from a neighbor who had about 2-3 minutes prior leading up to the point of where the shooting happened. Check these clips out.
Don't you?
This is a PSA. Jonathan Ross lives in my town, Chaska, Minnesota. There are 2 police squad cars sitting in front of his home. Earlier this morning, I passed just to see what kind of action was there. Saw the police officers there this morning. I did a U-turn by them, turned out, and then went to go do an errand. I came back because I wanted to ask if they were protecting him or if they're protecting the general public. And the police officers basically said, we're here to protect the community. He looked at me like I was some idiot, and, it is what it is, but I don't really believe him. I think they're protecting him. I think he's hiding out in his house, and I'd love for everyone who doesn't like him circle around in his neighborhood. I won't say exactly what road, if it's Court or if it's Drive, you can figure that out, but I will just say that the numbers look a lot like a 1 and a 1, 2, 0. Go circle around, make him uncomfortable.
GoFundMe campaign raising money for ICE agent Jonathan Ross has raised almost $300,000, even as the fatal shooting he was involved in remains under investigation. The fundraiser, which says that it's going to be used to cover Ross's legal expenses, described the shooting as 1,000% justified and claims that Ross's wife and children have gone into hiding due to alleged threats. The campaign has been amplified by right-wing influencers and supported by billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman. And in response to questions from the Ravenna Report, a GoFundMe spokesperson confirmed that its trust and safety team is actively reviewing all fundraisers connected to the Minneapolis shooting. The spokesperson also told the Ravenna Report that it's working to gather additional information from the organizer and that during the review process, all funds remain safely held by payment processors. As of now, they say that the only fundraiser verified and approved in connection to the Minneapolis shooting is one supporting the family of Renee Good, the woman killed in the shooting. They also emphasize that its terms of service prohibits fundraisers that raise money for the legal defense of anyone formally charged with a violent crime, adding that any campaigns found to violate this policy will be removed. However, no criminal charges have yet been announced against Ross, and only federal investigations are ongoing since the state of Minnesota was pushed out by the FBI. Sure to spread the word and follow to stay up to date on the story as it develops.
That a GoFundMe account has been established to collect donations to pay the legal expenses of Jonathan Ross, the ICE agent who shot and unalived Renee Nicole Good. And did you know that account has accumulated over $500,000 in donations? And that's not the only account set up to benefit Ross. I found at least 2 other accounts containing lesser amounts of donations. According to Wired magazine, GoFundMe does not allow accounts to be established for people accused of violent crimes. Now, Jonathan Ross has not been accused of committing any, but he was certainly associated with a violent incident. Wired said that GoFundMe is collecting more information before making a decision about the account. I'm not sure how much more information they need. At any rate, it seems that not a day goes by without some new and shocking revelation about the quality of my fellow Americans. What kind of heartless and soulless person would donate money to an account like that? It's disquieting to me to know that I am surrounded by so many people who, under normal circumstances, I would never have anything to do with. On the positive side, another GoFundMe account has been set up to raise money to assist the family of Renee Nicole Good, and that account has collected over $1.5 million. Not only that, but yesterday I came across this video from Reba McEntire. Take a listen.
I will take full responsibility for the care and upbringing of Renee Nicole Good's 3 children until they reach adulthood. As a mother, I cannot remain silent in the face of the reality and fear these children must endure after losing their mother. I also cannot accept that a woman who posed no clear threat to society lost her life in broad daylight.
So the good-hearted people, the people with souls, outnumber the bad ones by a 3-to-1 margin. That's encouraging. It's nice to know that there are still quite a few decent human beings out there.
Seen in the clips, you know what I mean? You see clearly she pulled up looking for smoke. She pulled up blocking the traffic, was dancing to the other people honking, frustrated drivers honking. Some people might have to go to work, might have had somewhere to go. So I guess apparently ICE was in the neighborhood and she wanted to protest as to why they was in the neighborhood, you know what I mean? So I don't know, one thing led to another. We all know what led to another, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying dude was justified in bodying her, but at the same time, time, like, we have to look at it from a human perspective. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a situation, you feel like somebody trying to run you over, you know what I mean? You got the thing on you. You definitely gonna reach for that thing and fire off. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think that's just human nature. Now, could this all could have been handled a different way? For sure. ISIS already have a bad light. They wouldn't seen them rip families apart, like I said in the last episode, you know what I mean? So they already have a bad reputation, you know what I'm saying? But it definitely could have been handled differently. But at the same time, I mean, you know, the masses is going to put murder on it and say it was a murder, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? But as far as the case goes, he's going to fight for self-defense. And I don't think that it's going to be seen any other way other than self-defense that he's calling for, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, in the video, you clearly see, you know what I mean? She smacked him, you feel me? So I think the self-defense is going to fly. I don't think dude's going to get no time. I think he definitely going to get off, you know what I'm saying, for sure, being that everything and leading up to that, all of the circumstances. Her wife got outside the car, was antagonizing the agents, talking a bunch of crap to him, telling them fat boys to go get a lunch and all this and that, you know what I mean? Just antagonizing, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I personally think that it could have been, you know what I'm saying, it could have been, she could have had a lot of play into do with what happened, you know what I mean? Definitely she could have had some play in that, because I feel like if she hadn't got outside the car and was antagonizing the agents and such like she was doing, you know what I mean? Hollering out her military rank and saying that, you know what I mean? Saying that you want to come for us and this and that, you know what I mean? Put the phone all in his face. And, you know what I'm saying? I think if she hadn't been doing that, because once she called him big boy or something like that and told him to go get a lunch or something of that nature, then that's when it was like, get out the car, you know what I mean? So I don't know, it all could have been avoided. It's just a very sad, sticky situation, you know what I mean? The lady did lose her life, so it's definitely a sticky and messy situation. It could have been handled differently, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I can't sit up here and say dude is all kind of mean things about dude, because he acted as a human, thinking that he was about to get ran over, you know what I'm saying? And then we talking down on him for the what he said, you know what I mean? He was like, you know, he said F and B after he had did it, you know, but I mean, that's just human nature, you know what I'm saying? If somebody was trying to run you over and you were like, oh, pull out, God damn, mother, you know, it's just human nature. You're going to say these type of things after an interaction like that, you know what I'm saying? What was he supposed to be like? Oh my goodness, whoa. You know, like, come on, man, this ain't fairy tale. In real life, you know what I mean? But what I don't condone is this GoFundMe. Like, I don't understand. You were trying to fund. You was raising the limit. You was like, all right, cool. All right, we hitting that limit. Let me see how much more we can go. You kept upping it from 500, 300 to 500 to 800. You know what I'm saying? You probably at $1 million by now. You feel me? What are we really funding? You know what I'm saying? I guess lawyer fees and this and that, but damn, we talking 800K. You know what I'm saying? And then people are funny. We got billionaires putting on to him, donating $10,000. I don't know, man. This is just wild business, you know, especially with something like this go public. I guess he figured he can capitalize on it and get his bread from it. Hey, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, what's happening? You feel me? I'm here to interrupt this episode to let you know, you know what I'm saying, to hit that subscribe button if you ain't already. You know what I mean? Hit the like button if you liking this content. You know what I'm saying? Comment on what you want to say on this content. You know what I'm saying? If you got something to say, if you remember something, if you heard about something that I'm talking about, let me know. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Let me know and hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? And tell your friends to hit that subscribe button. You feel me? Spread the word. Feel free to share all this content on your social medias, whatever platform it is that you got. You know what I mean? Thank you for tuning in. Let's get back to that episode. Snoop Dogg, you know what I mean? Snoop Dogg was at the Golden Globe Awards, and they had a podcast award for the first time ever at the Golden Globe Awards. You know what I mean? Snoop Dogg was up there presenting the award, and he had said a joke and cracked himself up. He got to laughing at himself. Stepped back from the mic, did one of these, and came back to the mic and said, yo, I am higher than a mother. On on stage at the Golden Globe Awards. You know what I'm saying? I thought this was hilarious. So next little clip you about to see is just a clip of Snoop Dogg saying this on the mic at the Golden Globes. Check it out.
Stop the music. Need y'all to loosen up a little bit. This is the double G's. The double G's is the Golden Globes, and you with the D-O-double-G. So make sure you enjoy yourself. Don't be no stiff biff. Move around a little bit. Best podcast is a very important category for me Because before a podcast, I was what you all listen to driving around in your cars. To you podcasters, y'all better hope I don't get in that game. Actually, I'm in that game. To represent podcasts. It's popping right about now. Believe me when I tell you. But here are the nominees for Best Podcast. Roll the tape. You all are winners. But the real winner... I'm high as a motherfucker right now. Y'all had me here too damn long. The winner is Good Hang with Amy Poehler.
Let's do survival kit. All right, there we go. There it is.
We're so excited.
Survive it. All right.
Here we go. We ain't even started. We got something for you. Some house shoes. All stuff. There we go. And everything. Wait a minute. Let me see if this is. Whoa.
That's the other one.
When the pimp's in that whip, drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. When the pimp's in that whip, park it like it's hot. Park it like it's hot. Park it like it's hot. If a nigga get an attitude, pop it like it's hot. Pop it like it's hot. Pop it like it's hot. Got the rollie on my arm and I'm pouring Sean Don and I'm the best live 'cause I got it going on.
You know what I mean? That was Snoop Dogg at the Golden Globes letting everybody know that he is hot in the mother at that moment. You know what I'm saying? He was cracking himself up on stage. I thought this was hilarious, man. Snoop is going to be Snoop wherever he at. You know what I'm saying? No matter where he at, he could be in hell, in Hell's Kitchen. He could literally in hell. He could be in heaven, literally in heaven. Oh, man, he could be in the White House. Snoop is going to be Snoop Dogg. You know what I'm saying? He always going to find somewhere to fire up. You know what I mean? He said, y'all left me in there too long. What I'm supposed to do? You know what I mean? So he was probably burning away, getting super loaded. You know what I mean? Killing hella time, probably hella hours, probably told him to be there way earlier than what he was supposed to be, and so forth. You know what I mean? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But he said they had him in there too long. So he was in there burning it down and got loaded before he came on that stage. I thought it was hilarious to see, you know what I mean? Fred Warner, you know what I'm saying? Fred Warner, we potentially can get Fred Warner back if we keep winning, you know what I'm saying? Fred Warner potential return has been activated for the practice window. I didn't really know when he said practice window, really what this was, but this dude pretty much breaking down what it is. Check it out.
Breaking news, the 49ers have opened Fred Warner's practice window. Let me explain exactly what that means. Before we dive into it, if you like 49ers news and stories, make sure to give me a follow. So what does the practice window do? Typically during the regular season, you activate it. A player has 21 days to practice, and either during that or at the end of it, you activate the player or you put them on IR. We're in the playoffs. You can go home next week. So this allows the 49ers to let Fred Warner practice with the team. Kyle Shanahan added that he'll go through walkthroughs and things like that. However, the hope is that he still returns next week for a potential NFC title game. Ultimately, Shanahan added that there are protocols that players have to go through and pass before they can put them back on the field. For Fred Warner, this means that he has to show that he can sprint, jump, and a couple of other things. On top of that, Shanahan did say that Fred isn't really advocating or bugging him about putting him back on the field, but everybody is seeing what he's been able to do. Posted that video running up and down the field. So Fred Warner nearing a return, but it means the 49ers have to continue winning.
That was just a full breakdown of what a practice window is and what it really means, you know what I mean, the 21 days or whatnot. So I think he can do it, you know what I mean. He been definitely been at it, definitely showing the videos of him working hard recently, you know what I'm saying. In the next little clips you're gonna see, I'm gonna show you the videos he been releasing, you know what I mean, and we done seen him look like no ankle broken present at all, you know what I mean. But yeah, the next little clips you're gonna see, you're just gonna see everything about Fred Warner and the potential return and things of that nature, and the videos he put out on Instagram about him doing his little workouts and all that, you know what I mean. Check these clips out.
Chance that you're going to give a big speech and tell everybody, hey, you get this one and I'm back next week.
I'm ready whenever they're ready. You know what I'm saying? There's some T's that got to be crossed, I's that got to be dotted. Unfortunately, if it were just up to me, I'd be out there this weekend. But it's unfortunately not that. It's not that way, right? I got to make sure that I'm checking all the boxes and everybody has to give me the okay before they let me go out there. But I'm pushing, man. I'm training hard. I'm back doing full football drills and everything. So time will tell, man. We got.
He's ready whenever. Obviously, he's a player. He wants to play, but Do you have to hold him back a little yourself, or how do you kind of approach a situation like this?
Approach it by what doctors tell me. I mean, I'm like Fred. If he feels good and tells me he's good, I'm probably going to think he's good and trust him to get out there. But you can't always think with your heart and emotionally, you know. And so you ask doctors where he's at, all the things that these guys have to pass, just protocols that we have in with just sprinting and jumping and things like that. And he's got to hit all those before we feel it's safe.
What's he been like in the last couple weeks? Has he been kind of coming up to you and trying to advocate to open the window, or has that been...
No, that's not Fred's style totally. He does that by showing how hard he's working on the side and knows that we're watching. And so he knows he doesn't have to do that to me. As soon as he's ready, obviously it'll be zero decision on my part.
So Fred Warner, he went out with an ankle dislocation earlier this year, about 14 weeks ago, and there's some pretty sick video footage of him already back out on the practice field, so 49ers fans are wondering when he can return back to help push them through the rest of this amazing playoff run. Warner is moving really smoothly out on the field. He is crushing it, and look at that weather out there in the Bay Area compared to over here in the Midwest. Nice to be able to be wearing shorts. But he had an ankle dislocation, and a lot of times that involves a significant amount of ligament damage to structures in between that tibia and that fibula. So right up there, the syndesmotic region, a lot of times there's multiple fractures, but the only fracture he could have reasonably had is a distal fibula fracture here and a syndesmotic injury where they do a tightrope procedure. So you see right there that the quickest possible reaction would be for a fibula fracture because it only weight bears about 15% as opposed to the tibia, the other bone, which bears about 85%. So fibula fractures, you can recover back from about 6 to 8 weeks. But then the syndesmotic region, that high ankle kind of injury, that's what really delays the return. And isolated syndesmotic repairs with the tightrope procedure can result in about a 6-week recovery. But with the combined fibula fracture, it extends it out to about 10 to 14 weeks, which is right around the time that Fred Warner is. And as you saw in that procedure, there was kind of this wire instead of a screw. And what the wire does is it allows that normal range of motion between the tibia and the fibula, which allows for a quicker return to play at 14 weeks versus 19 weeks. So I do foresee Fred Warner coming back, not for this next game, but for the game after that, assuming the 49ers pull out another miraculous win.
Wait, me, don't Fred Warner, you know what I'm saying, doing his throw. No, I didn't know he was doing like capoeira in the, you know what I'm saying, I didn't know he was in combat sports. I mean, he was looking nice, kicking the bag, did a little backflip off the bag and a flying knee at the bag, you know what I mean? I didn't know he was in MMA sports or capoeira. It looked like some capoeira he was doing, some Thai boxing he was doing, you know what I'm saying, kickboxing. So, hey, you know, it was looking good, but the footage of him doing the workouts, doing the crosses and the back and forths and the side to sides looked like he ain't ever had a broken ankle at all. You feel me? Looking good out there. So now the practice window been open. So now he can go and practice, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully he'll be back. If we get wins and keep winning, hopefully we can get him for the final thing if we get all the way to the bowl, you know what I mean? So shout out to Fred Warner, impressing that, you know what I'm saying? We just lost Kittle, torn Achilles, you know, at the end of the season, but man, we've been losing people all season, you know what I'm saying? And we still been finding ways to win, you know what I mean? I feel like Coach Shanahan need that Cody. That's Coach of the Year, because they y'all that don't know, you know what I mean? I think Niners is doing great. I'm definitely proud of my team. You know what I'm saying? We definitely are doing our thing despite the injuries, despite all the injuries that we had to endure, go through, everybody getting hurt. We still next man up, 2s and 3s is out here balling like they're number ones. Okay, you know, proud of my team. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Niners, man. I hope we go all the way with it. We've been fighting for this ring for a long time. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got for today, though, for episode 350. You know what I mean? A lot of people touching on that Minnesota thing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people was talking about that. Feel I had to put some more input on there, talk about the little other views that was out there, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's all I got for today, though. You know what I mean? Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Quick little recap, everything we just went over. You feel me? In case you might have got too busy, you might have rolled up, might have got too high, you might have pulled up, got too perved out. Maybe you heard some commotion outside. You had to step away, step outside, see what was happening. Maybe some kids you had upstairs or in the other room was fighting over who turn it is, over the Xbox or the PlayStation or the Nintendo Switch or something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you had to step away and see what was happening. So in case you did. It's a quick little recap of everything we just went over, you know what I mean? So I just let you know that Jonathan Ross, the ICE agent who bodied the girl Renee Nicole Good out there in Minnesota, put together a GoFundMe asking for 800 bands, you know what I'm saying? Also let you know, showed you some new angles from somebody else in the neighborhood also. Also, Snoop Dogg presenting the podcast award at the Golden Globes, and let the crowd know he was loaded and didn't care, you feel me? Said y'all left me in here too long, you know what I mean? Said he was loaded and justified it. Also let you know that Fred Warner's potential get back, he out here grinding in his rehab, looking like he ain't had a hurt ankle a few weeks ago. But yeah, man, that's everything we went over for episode 350, you know what I mean? Thank all y'all for tuning in, you know what I'm saying? Because you could have been doing anything you wanted to do, no matter who you was, you know what I mean? Whether you was a little brother, little sister, older brother, older sister, whether you was a niece, a nephew, an auntie, an uncle, whether you was a grandma, a grandpa, whether you was cousin Pete, cousin Mookie, cousin Man, whoever you was, you feel me? If y'all had, and if y'all got pets too that's sitting there and your pet is next to you, whether your pet could be a dog, a cat, you got a pet hyena, a pig, you can have a pet giraffe, a pet gerbil, a pet inform, a pet pig, a pet hedgehog, whoever your pet is. If they watching kind of podcast, I definitely salute to them, you know what I mean? Like you see the homies scrolling up the screen, you know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for tuning in. The beat you hear creeping up was made by none other than Old Amazing Beats, you know what I mean? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for tuning in, you know what I'm saying? Let Amazing Beats talk to you on the background while these credits roll. My last little minute comments on the screen, you know what I'm saying? But thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching.
You hate me, don't you? 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 You hate me, don't you?
Don't, what the fuck, the fuck, the fuck.